Today is October 6, 2025. It's spooky season, so I wanted to share a little scary story for all of you from my homeland of Hawaii. There are places on those islands where the wind feels older than memory, where the air hums as if it carries the heartbeat of generations. When I was a young boy, I thought ghost stories were meant to frighten us. Now I know they were meant to remind us. They remind us that the land was never empty, that before the sugarcane fields, before the pineapple canneries, before the barracks where our grandparents slept, there were voices that spoke the first prayers. To hear the drums of the night marchers is to be reminded that history is never buried, it walks. It walks in rhythm with the sea, in step with the rain, in the silence between heartbeats. And so I begin here, where story and spirit meet. In the hush of Hawaii's night, where the unseen still moves among us, and the living still remember to bow their heads, the story of the night marchers, or Huakai Po, sits at haunting crossroads between Hawaii's spiritual ancestry and the layers of colonization that reshaped the islands. It is one of the few legends that crosses ethnic lines, embraced with reverence by Native Hawaiians and whispered with awe and respect by generations of Filipino, Chinese, Japanese, Portuguese, and other immigrant families who made Hawaii their home. To talk about the night marchers is to talk about the memory of a land that remembers who walked it first. The night marchers are said to be the spirits of ancient Hawaiian warriors, guardians, and chiefs who traverse the islands on sacred paths, often along ridges, through valleys, or between mountains and sea. Their march is accompanied by the sound of conch shells, the beating of drums, and the flickering of torches. The legend says that to look upon them is to invite death, unless one lies flat face to the earth in humble respect. For Native Hawaiians, these are not ghosts to fear, but ancestors to honor. Their presence affirms that the spiritual realm is alive, that mana, the sacred power of life and lineage, still courses through the islands. By the time waves of immigrant laborers arrived in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Hawaii had already been colonized, its monarchy overthrown, its land seized, and its language suppressed. The immigrants came to work the sugarcane and pineapple fields, living in plantation barracks that cut across the ancient footpaths of ali'i and warriors. They brought with them their own spiritual traditions and stories, Filipino tales of aswang and white ladies, Japanese yurei or obake, Chinese ancestral spirits, and Portuguese folk saints. In those dark, humid nights when the wind swept through cane fields and the torches of laborers flickered in the distance, people spoke softly of what they felt, the rustle of grass, the echo of footsteps, or the sound of drums from the mountains. These experiences were not dismissed. The people of the plantations and the people of the land shared an understanding. Some spirits walk because they must, and the land holds their paths. The living coexist with those who came before. Stories from Waipahu to Waialua, from Schofield Barracks to Kaneohe, tell of nights when workers or soldiers froze in place, hearing drums far away, or seeing torchlight wind down an invisible path. Filipino and Japanese workers would whisper prayers of their own, while following the Hawaiian practice of lying low in reverence, allowing the march to pass untouched. Over generations, these shared moments of awe became woven into Hawaii's collective identity, a common respect for what is unseen, for the presence that moves through the night. For immigrants living on colonized land, the night marchers became a reminder that before sugar, before the American flag, before the English tongue, this was sacred ground. They are Hawaii asserting itself, its history refusing to vanish, even as the modern world paved over temples, fields, and footpaths. My brother and I have walked along some of the trails where people have said the night marchers still travel. These hikes are quiet and meditative, acts of reverence more than adventure. One of these places is Kaena Point, the rugged northwestern tip of Oahu, where the land narrows into sharp cliffs that reach toward the endless Pacific. It is said that from this point, spirits leap into the next world. Ka'ena Point is known in Hawaiian tradition as Leina a Ka'uhane, the leaping place of souls. In old belief, it is where the spirits of the dead depart from this world, joining the ancestors across the ocean in Po, the realm of the afterlife. Standing there, the air feels charged. The sea crashes against the rocks with a rhythm that feels ancient, and the wind seems to speak. It is a place that asks for silence. When my brother and I stood at Ka'ena Point, we felt the hum of something beyond description. The same presence our ancestors and elders once spoke of. The stories we heard growing up, passed through the generations of families who worked the plantations and built homes across the island, seemed to come alive. We were not just walking in nature. We were walking a corridor of memory, a living intersection of Hawaiian, Filipino, Chinese, Japanese, and Portuguese heritage, all carried on the same wind. Today, people still tell of nights when torchlight appears along the ridges, or when the deep beat of drums rolls through the dark. Yet the night marchers are not merely spirits of fear, they are keepers of memory. Their presence reminds us that Hawaii's land is not only beautiful, but conscious, alive with the echoes of those who shaped it long before colonization and immigration transformed it. The night marchers are Hawaii's conscience. They ask the living to remember, who walked here before you? What stories lie beneath your feet? In that way, Hawaii's ghost stories are not about terror at all. They are about reverence. They are about connection between the living and the dead, between the colonized and the colonizer, between what was lost and what endures. On those nights when the ocean wind carries a rhythm that feels older than time, one can almost sense the procession passing by still, steady, solemn, and eternal. For me, as a Filipino raised among the echoes of these islands, the night marchers are not only a legend of Hawaii, but a mirror of our own story. Our ancestors too knew the ache of being uprooted, the struggle of faith carried into foreign fields. The Filipinos who came to Hawaii in the early 1900s brought their prayers, their food, their laughter, and their ghosts. They found themselves on land already wounded by colonization, and yet profoundly sacred, land that insisted on being remembered. In that shared space, something beautiful happened. Filipino families like those from Japan, China, and Portugal came to honor the Hawaiian spirits as kin. In the plantation barracks, stories of the night marchers were told with the same reverence of stories of saints and ancestors back home. Over time, these stories became a bridge, linking the memory of the islands before conquest with the hopes of those who had just arrived to toil under its sun. When I think of the night marchers now, I think of my great-grandparents who left Ilocos to work Hawaii's plantations, and of the native Hawaiians whose sacred trails they unknowingly crossed. I think of the quiet dignity that both peoples carried, even when the world around them treated them as expendable. The night marchers are not just Hawaii's ghosts. They are the living embodiment of continuity, of the deep human need to honor the past while surviving the present. So when I stand at Ka'ena Point, feeling the salt wind sting my face, and the seas roar drown out all the words, I sense them all. The Hawaiian warriors, the immigrant laborers, the ancestors who crossed oceans of faith and fear. They walk together now, not in battle, but in memory, and in rhythm of the unseen drums. I hear what the land has always said to those willing to listen. We are still here. We always will be. Every time I return home, I stand at the edge of Ka'ena Point. I feel that same pull, the wind brushing against my skin like a whisper that says, remember. The horizon stretches beyond what the eyes can hold, but the soul knows what lies there. A crossing, a leaping place, a return. The night marchers do not belong to a single people or a single legend. They are the heartbeat of Hawaii itself, the sound of footsteps that refuse to fade. For those of us who came after, descendants of immigrants who labored under the island's sun, we carry those footsteps within us. They are the pulse of the land we now call home. If you listen long enough, you will hear them too. The steady rhythm rising and falling like a tide, not haunting, but calling, not warning, but remembering, not ghosts, but guardians. And on the nights when the ocean wind moves through the valleys and the torches flicker unseen, I whisper a quiet aloha into the dark, not out of fear, but out of gratitude. Because Hawaii, even in silence, still speaks, and the spirits still march.